Hey friends, Tashin here. I want to talk about a part of my playbook that I've had for a long time about people and connecting to people and what you might call networking, for lack of a better term, making friends and finding collaborators and allies, and kind of explain my thinking on this because I think it's really important. And it's become such a core principle of my work and the way that I relate to people. And it's really been there for a long time, like a long time. So I'll start by telling a story, which is about my friend Visa, who has been such a hero for me and an inspiration. And I'm grateful to call him a friend and to have met him on 2 different occasions now in person. And I want to tell you about when I first met him in person, which was in 2019, in the spring of 2019, when he came to the Bay Area. And I had started following Visa in the fall of 2018 at some point. And there wasn't the name Teapot yet, or what we're calling the network these days, but I saw him around Twitter, and I'd been on Twitter since 2007, I think, and had just been increasingly online on Twitter, especially sort of late 2017, early 2018. I was really ramping up how much I was using Twitter and connecting to people there and finding friends. And I found this account, and I still remember the profile picture that he had early on. It's one of his older profile pictures, and I think he must have had like 500, 600, 800 followers when I started following him. I don't know for sure, but it's still a pretty small account, and he just hit 100,000 a month or so ago. I don't know, but it was just really clear. It's like, oh, this guy is onto something, and he's doing something interesting. I don't even really know what it is, but I just really enjoyed seeing him on my feed, and he was sort of doing something different with threading. And I didn't even really get what he was on about, but I was like, I like his posts, and I like what he's doing, and it feels good in my body, and I'm interested in this, and I'm curious about this. And, of course, over time, I started to gradually get more and more of a sense of what he was on about, and specific talking points that he was making started to make their way into my consciousness. There's a lot of ideas that Visa has shared over the years that have really just been such a inspiration for me, and such a guiding light for the work I do and the Service Guild and so on. So I was inspired by him, and I was starting to learn from him. And then I heard, he's coming to the Bay Area in 2019. And at the time, I was helping to start the monastery out in California. And I was actually just about to go back to Vermont for a while. And excuse me, I'm having some allergies today. But let's see. But, I was at the monastery, and I heard that he was going to be in the Bay Area, and I was like, I should meet up. I'm in the Bay Area. He's going to be in the Bay Area. He's from Singapore. Like, when am I going to get this chance again? And it just felt important to see him and to meet him. And the thing was, even though we were both in the Bay Area, he was going to be in the East Bay, I think, at the time, and I was in the South Bay. And, like, the Bay Area is actually multiple little subregions. And I didn't have a car exactly, and I think I was at my limit with free time, and how much free time I had, and there were sort of constraints on how much free time I had being at the monastery. And I don't remember exactly what I had to do, but I remember I had to like bend over backwards to convince other people, like, hey, look, I need an extra day off. I gotta go see this guy. I have to meet him. It's really, really, really important. And they're like, who is this person? I was like, he's this like Twitter user from Singapore. And they're like, okay. And I wish I could remember what I had to do, but I do remember I had to like really bend over backwards to be able to go meet him and to take I think I got an afternoon off. Like I couldn't even take the whole day off. And I was like, okay, so I trekked over to East Bay, and we made plans, and I think I was a little worried at first. I think there were some bumps in scheduling, and but then I was like, okay, no, we're going to meet at this place and this time. And I remember still which sandwich shop we went to, and anyway, we had a conversation, and Visa has a tweet about it, and there's a picture we took, and we actually bumped into Tiago's wife, Lauren, who I was also friends with, and I was working with at the time, and it was like, oh, this is Lauren, and wow, okay. And anyway, it was a good conversation. It wasn't the best conversation ever. It wasn't the worst conversation ever. It was like a good conversation. We got to meet each other, and we got to talk and share space and literally break bread and have a sandwich together. And it was good. And it was so important to me. I was like, this guy is important, and I need to meet him. And we weren't mutuals. We were following each other. And it's like, I should meet him while he's here. And I don't have anything in particular I need to talk about, but I would like to just meet him in person. And I think there's also something about like showing someone that they're important to you, and even going out of your way to try to meet them. And I just knew it. This guy's important, and I like his ideas, and I don't know what our friendship is going to look like over time, but I should go meet him while he's here. And the way I would describe this now is a couple of different phrases, which are like, meet serious people early. Visa has a great post about this. Serious people, being a serious person. Are you serious? And another way to put it would be like, meet resonant people early. Meet resonant people early. That's a slightly different connotation. I would say everybody's serious, actually, but that like there's a chapter and a season for people to be serious about something, and that may or may not be the chapter that they're in and the arc that they're in. And even if they're serious about something, it may not be something that you're also serious about or that you're connected to. Like, your puzzle pieces may not fit with their puzzle pieces. And so, I don't know, if I knew someone who was really serious about, like, their big thing was like genome sequencing or something, I'd be like, well, that's great. I'm excited for you, but like, I don't know the first thing about it. I don't think my life's work has anything to do with genome sequencing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's an interesting example for me to pick. Maybe I'll get really into biosciences after this, but I wouldn't put it past me. But like, as far as I can tell, my life's work does not have much to do with biosciences at this time. And I wouldn't like go out of my way to meet someone who was interested in that unless I felt a lot of resonance, and I just probably wouldn't feel a lot of resonance with that. And so, but in Visa's case, it was like, oh, this guy, I don't really understand him yet. I don't know what he's on about completely, but sorry, there's a muffler here. So rude. Sorry about that, team. Was like, yeah, I don't really get what Visa's on about yet, but I can tell I feel really inspired by what he's doing. It's incredibly resonant for me, and I'd like to meet him as soon as possible. And I have done this for years with people, and I have met so many people from the internet. I think I met my first internet friend probably when I was like 13 or 14, which is a whole other story. But like, I've been doing this for years, and every year I meet, you know, probably hundreds of people from Twitter these days, especially. And I've been doing that for years, and that has just had so many compounding returns that just keep paying off, that the more I do it, the more important it is to me to meet resonant people early, or meet serious people early. And I'm interested in, there's a time where I was just trying to make friends or things like that, and that's good. But I have a lot of friends at this point, and I have no shortage of friends. I'm always happy to make more friends, but that's not like an active goal that I have. I'm interested in doing projects and doing bigger projects and more ambitious projects, and I'm interested in people who are ambitious and people who I can help and be helped by to do bigger projects that have a bigger impact. And so if I feel resonant with someone, with what they're doing, and I have the sense, hey, this is a serious person who's going to do important work in the world, where like, if I fast forward 3, 5, 10, 15 years, I have a sense they're going to be really important, and even like an ally of mine, or I'm going to be connected to them or want to know what they're doing, then I go out of my way to meet them, and even inconvenience myself or take half my day, or I don't know, pay for an expensive lift, or even get on a flight to meet someone, where it's like, yeah, I think I should just meet this person and meet them as early as possible and spend time with them. It's really good to meet them in person. Like, I love the internet. I love the internet so much, but it really changes when you've spent time with someone in person, when you've gone on a walk with them, when you've shared a meal with them, where your body can be with their body and just see how they feel, and you can ask them a lot of questions and spend a lot of time together, and you're not in a rectangle like I am now with you, or in a Zoom call or whatever. It's like, no, I'm sharing space with this person, and maybe I even slept at their place, or we went to go to a park, or whatever it is. And I've been so blessed and so lucky to be able to meet so many people, and arguably I've even prioritized for this, right, with my pilgrimage, where it's like, I'm going to prioritize being able to meet people like this and make those connections, make those friendships, make those alliances, and do so sooner rather than later, over having like comfort or security or stability. Like, I'll trade off against those things in order to be able to be connected to these people. And I think that we flourish together, and knowing people early is the conditions for such good consequences, where you're like, I don't know what we're going to do together, but I can tell I'm interested in you. I can tell I'm inspired by you. I can tell that what you're doing is resonant. There's enough proof of work that you've put in that I can tell you're going places. Proof of work is such a good metaphor here, where it's like, oh yeah, this person has been my mutual for a long time, and I can tell that they're putting in the work, and they're making blog posts or making videos or doing events or hosting things or whatever it is. They're like putting in some kind of work that's like, oh, they're serving something bigger than themselves, and something that fits with what I'm doing. I don't see yet how it is. And spending time together in person is such a really good condition for that consequence, where it's like, oh, you spend time together in person, and you can just ask them a lot of questions and get the download, like, well, what's your story? Where do you come from? Why do you care about this? What exactly is this project again? And so, like, right now, for example, I'm in a major city in the States on the West Coast, and I've made efforts to meet up with, I think, 3 people now that are in this city that are like, hey, they were my mutuals, and we had such and such context. It's different in each case, but like, I can tell there's some resonance here, and I'd like to meet you sooner than later. And one of them is actually a close collaborator that I hadn't met in person before. And then the other 2 are mutuals, and one was a more long-standing mutual, and the other was a newer mutual. But it's just like, yeah, I should meet them. And I'm not always going to be able to meet everybody that I find resonant, but the more resonant I find someone, and the more sort of, for lack of a better word, like chemistry there is, where it's like, oh, we have something to do together, we have something to learn from each other, there's some kind of overlap in what we're interested in, then the more I'm going to prioritize meeting them sooner than later. And it doesn't have to be in person. You can have a Zoom call, or like my podcast is a way of doing this online, or just corresponding in the DMs. But meeting someone in person is the gold standard for this, where it's like, yep, we spent an afternoon together, we got coffee, we went for the walk, we asked each other a lot of questions. And, sometimes it's, you have a nice coffee with someone. And then in some cases, I've had coffees with people that I haven't talked to them in years, but you never know. They might circle back out of the blue, and the fact that you met 20 years ago means you had that context. Or maybe they become your lifelong best friend, or, your partner, or your collaborator, or you start a business together. Like, you never know. There's just this radical openness that I love, and I'm I don't know, for lack of a better word, like addicted to. It's like, I love that radical openness. It's like anything could happen between us. We could do anything together, and you don't know what it is. And just spending time together and getting to know each other is the conditions for good consequences. And it's an investment in a long game and long futures, where it's like, I don't know, I met Visa in person in 2019, and we'd been mutuals for like maybe 6-9 months. And then I saw him again earlier this year in Singapore, and that was 6 years later. Literally 6 years later. And it might be, we kind of joked about this when I saw him, like, it might be another 6 years before I see him again, which would be, I don't know, 2031. I would love it if it's sooner. It might be sooner. Don't let me stop you, universe. But you know, if it's 6 years, that's okay. I would love to have a friendship where I saw a really dear, lifelong friend once every 6 years. That'd be kind of great. Or my friendship with River, the Wilderness, we've met up once a year for the past, 3 years? 2023, 2024, 2025 now. And it's been in a different country every time. We've met up in, 3 different countries. And so, I don't know, we have this bit of like, oh, maybe we'll meet in a different country every time we get together. And actually, I sort of enjoy imagining that the last country that we'll meet up in is America, because River hasn't been to America for many years. And I always wonder, like, oh, what are the causes and conditions that might cause him to come back to America? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The moral of the story is I find it so valuable to meet resonant, serious people early, as soon as possible. And I've been doing that for years. And, you know, some people it doesn't go anywhere. But the more I trust my intuition and what's alive for me and what feels resonant for me, the more good things just keep happening. And it's worth a little bit of inconvenience or cost or time or energy now to invest in that future for the long term, and to meet the people sooner and get shared context on each other, to deepen the friendships and play the long game together. Because friendships can last for decades and alliances can last for decades. And I'm playing long games, so meeting other people who are also playing long games early is so valuable. And I hope that if you're also a serious person who's in tune with your intuition and knows what kind of long games you want to be playing, like, meet those people sooner and go out of your way, get a plane ticket, go to another continent even to meet someone that you feel resonant with. It's worth it. And it'll change your life, and you'll learn so much, and you'll grow, and you'll play and collaborate in ways that surprise you, and it'll be a blast. So have fun, kids, and I am sending you love.